What kind of person did you dream of becoming? Why is it that we often fail time and again on the road to our goals? A friend once shared with me what he went through at the age of 24. He told me how he used to devour biographies of famous entrepreneurs, people like the founders of Apple and Google. He dreamed that one day, he too could rise from a quiet, rural corner of the world to the summit of success. He wanted to go from nothing to everything, from a nameless nobody to a billionaire who commanded respect and admiration. He spent 6 whole months planning his startup. A software developer by trade, he decided to build a mobile game. Late into the night and through the early hours of dawn, he would sit by his window, staring at the faint city lights, whispering to himself for motivation. He'd think, this is how the great ones lived, sleep, deprived, exhausted, broke. But they pushed through, and that's how they earned their legacy. He clung to the belief that his own dawn was coming. Maybe he would be the next big disruptor in tech, a pioneer of a new era in the internet age. But then came the bugs. The endless, soul-crushing bugs. Every time he fixed one, another appeared. The grind wore him down. Eventually, the passion faded. He started telling himself it wasn't worth it. After all, he could already pay rent on his current salary. Why is life harder than it needed to be? So, he went back to his regular life, clocking in at 9, clocking out at 5. The lamp in his room no longer stayed on late into the night. The stars outside stopped keeping him company. Later, he became fascinated with the idea of freelancing. A friend told him he had a great look for modeling, so he gave it a shot. After a few gigs and some thick envelopes of cash handed directly into his palm, he thought, well, this is easier than coding. A new dream took hold, becoming a model. He figured that maybe this was his path, maybe he was meant to be in the spotlight. After all, youth is for exploration, right? Maybe modeling would open the door to the glamorous world of showbiz. He started reaching out to people, friends, friends of friends, co-workers, anyone who might connect him with someone in the industry. He hoped to network his way into a real modeling career. But, as you might have guessed, that dream didn't pan out either. The world of modeling was not as effortless as it seemed. The opportunities dried up. And once again, he found himself back in front of the computer screen, typing code in silence. Only this time, he was different. The hope had dimmed. The self-doubt had grown. He felt stuck, frustrated, unsure if life was ever going to open the right door. He started believing the world was indifferent to his effort. His potential, whatever it was, felt buried deep inside rows of code no one else could see. At 24, he was only a quarter into his life's journey. But already, he was surrounded by fog, uncertainty clouding every step ahead. And the worst part? He no longer knew what kind of person he was trying to become. Don't always follow someone else's path. Youth is a beautiful thing. I once told a friend, being young is a kind of capital. Because when you're young, even if you take the wrong step, there's still time to go back, to change course, and start over. But somewhere along the way, many of us stop believing in our own worth in the present. Why is it so hard to trust that who you are right now might already be enough? I have a friend who's also a programmer. From what I remember, even as an intern 4 years ago, he was making nearly $5,000 a month. Sure, he was in New York City, so maybe the numbers differ in other places, but in tech, the pay's generally not bad, because the work demands serious thinking and constant learning. In that sense, the effort you put in tends to reflect in what you get out, if you're truly giving it your all. But here's the thing, in your 20s, almost everyone feels lost. And one major reason for that is because we spend too much time staring at other people's highlight reels. We see motivational stories, success quotes, and polished social media feeds, and we start wanting to become someone else. Not because it's right for us, but because it looks impressive, or safe, or universally admired. When you're just starting out and don't have many resources, role models often become more like maps. You look at someone who's already made it and think, that's the way. So, whenever a new opportunity comes, no matter how vague or far, fetch your panic, afraid it might be the one. You start reshaping your whole life just to chase that moment. But that cycle repeats. Again, and again. We all want to succeed. That's natural. We all want to be exceptional at something. But in the rush to get there, we often forget to ask the one question that matters: what do I want? What does it mean to become yourself? It's not as mystical as it sounds. It simply means that in the process of trying new things, failing, adapting, evolving, you notice patterns, your strengths, your instincts, your joy. You learn what excites you, what drains you, what makes you feel alive. And once you find that, you stay on that path. You build from there. Look, there's nothing wrong with trying something unconventional. If you're a software engineer who wants to model, go for it. But be honest with yourself. Do you really want it? Or do you want what it represents? Because chasing dreams is noble, but what matters most is whether that dream fits you. If you spend your whole life copying someone else's blueprint, while ignoring your own experiences and insights, you're only setting yourself up for repeated failure. The kind that doesn't teach you anything, just leaves you more confused. To put it simply, your 20s are for forgiving mistakes. But they're also for learning from them. It's the decade where you should stumble, course, correct, and gradually, stubbornly, figure out what direction truly belongs to you. Design a life that fits your reality. Not long ago, a friend I hadn't spoken to in years dropped a message in our old group chat. She said she was planning to take the exam to earn a certification in financial investment analysis. The moment I read it, a wave of memories came rushing back. I remember how, back in high school, she once told me that the finance sector was desperate for analysts, and she had already made up her mind to follow that path. She was just an ordinary girl back then, quiet, reserved, but with a clear goal in mind. She became someone radiant with purpose. Still, the road she chose was a long one. Life happened, and of course, detours were inevitable. I remembered how she used to admire those elegant girls who could sing, dance, and perform with grace. So, she enrolled in a series of art classes, calligraphy, piano, and traditional painting. But after a while, she realized she lacked both talent and passion for any of it. Then she looked up to another type of woman, fierce, fearless, a go-getter who wouldn't back down from a fight. That inspired her to shift gears completely and dive into business, thinking she could mold herself into that bold, commanding presence. But as time went on, she discovered that it wasn't her either. She was thoughtful, soft-spoken, and introspective. No amount of ambition could mask the simple truth: her strengths lay elsewhere. Maybe it's only when you're truly alone that you have the clarity to ask yourself the real question: what do I want? What kind of life genuinely suits who I am, not who I'm trying to be for someone else? Eventually, she let go of the need to impress, the pressure to be someone she wasn't. She reminded herself she was still in her 20s, and that it wasn't too late to return to the original dream, the one she had when she was young and full of quiet confidence. She no longer wanted to force herself down a path just because it seemed impressive or because someone else had walked it successfully. Her interests had always been in finance, currency markets, insurance structures, and long-term investment analysis. So, she started preparing seriously for the certification exam, and this time, she gave it everything she had. That preparation stretched across 3, almost 4 years. I don't know if she passed the exam or not. But in a way, it doesn't matter. Because for her, becoming a financial analyst always made more sense than pretending to be the perfect housewife or someone she never felt truly comfortable being. You can spend years chasing someone else's life, thinking it'll make you feel whole. You can try to be more artistic, more charismatic, more aggressive, more anything. But in the end, you'll always circle back to the same place, you. The journey might start with the desire to become someone else, but it ends, inevitably, with the realization that the only person you can ever fully become is yourself. Become yourself, and set goals you truly believe in. By the time you hit 30, one thing should be clear: you need to have a goal you believe in and a path that's genuinely your own. Not something that looks good on paper, or something borrowed from someone else's life, but something that fits you. Because if you can figure that out, you'll carry fewer regrets into your 30s. The road ahead won't feel quite so bumpy. And more importantly, it'll feel like it's finally yours. Too often, we go in circles in our 20s, chasing things at random, stepping left, then right, with no clear sense of direction. Deep down, we tell ourselves it's okay. That if we just keep moving, something will click. But the truth is, moving without direction isn't growth. It's a distraction. Admiring others is fine. It's human. But just because someone else finds success going down a certain road doesn't mean that road is paved for you. The major you chose. You know it better than anyone. The opportunities around you. Only you can spot which ones are real. The people in your life who might help or mentor you. You're the one who sees them up close. Whether or not your future holds light or darkness, you're the only person who can truly feel which way you're heading. So here you are, in your 20s, young, full of potential, and the question remains: what kind of person are you becoming? Maybe, after all the starts and stops, all the false leads and failures, you'll finally land on the answer. And that answer will sound a lot like your own name. Because the mistakes of your past shouldn't repeat, they should teach. Each misstep is part of the blueprint, not the end of the road. Just remember, someone else's path may inspire you, but it was never meant to be your destiny. Some things in life can be imitated, but others, especially the ones that truly matter, can't be copied. The truth is that your 20s are long. They give you space to stumble, to mess up, to fall flat. But if you don't learn to carve your own way through those missteps, if you never use those mistakes to figure out who you are, then all that time gets wasted. That's why, no matter what, you must become yourself. Set goals that speak to you. Build a path that reflects your values, your gifts, your reality. In the end, the only journey worth walking is the one where every step brings you closer to who you were always meant to be.